to some far places. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down. Sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. With sympathy.
So, good evening, everyone. Here we have tonight people we haven't seen for a while. Well, we see Kenny every week, but Mr. Carl Walsh, Gunner, how are you, my friend?
All good, all good. Good to have me on the show, Jay. So appreciate it, man.
Pleasure, always a pleasure. Prince Fuad, how are you, my friend? You must be absolutely glowing in the moment for.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, pleasure, man. And Del Boy, haven't seen you on here for quite some time. How you doing, my friend?
Look, being good. Arsenal winning everywhere. The ladies, the kids, everything. So look, happy days. We can't complain.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're all happy, all very happy. Kenny, Ken, you are always a regular on here. Give your facts, your opinions, and much respected as you are. We can't see the game tonight, sadly. But Kenny, how are you doing?
I'm a bit frustrated about that because I've found a way to watch every game, but I think it is what it is. You know, European and overseas broadcasters aren't going to pay for the Carabao Cup if teams are not playing their first 11s, and I don't blame them really. I'm not going to the game because it's not my season ticket, and why go to a game where teams don't play their best 11s? It becomes like the schoolboy international. So I don't blame them, but don't get me wrong, it's a competition I still want us to win, and so I'll follow it as best I can today.
Okay, yeah, I mean that brings us on to the game tonight. You may not have seen it on the podcast on Monday night with Lee. We had a debate. Obviously, Kenny was there. Personally, to me, this is my personal opinion. I'll get your opinions on this. Personal to me, I think we've got bigger fish to fry. We should be concentrating. We're number one, top of the league. We've got a game at the weekend, which we'll talk about in a bit. To my mind tonight, it's putting a team out that can compete. I'm not saying put the Arsenal team to the sword, but I think it's more important to concentrate on the game, 7:30 Saturday night at Wolverhampton. Put a team out there that will maybe do the game, but maybe I'm wrong. And I'll start with you on that one, Kenny. What do you think? Do you think I'm? I mean, you just made the comment that you think you want Arsenal to win this trophy. Fair play, of course I do. But I think at this point in time, mate, we've got bigger things to look at.
You can go down that road, but I think what's happened is that 9 out of 10 times when you do go down that road, you end up with nothing. And you certainly sometimes you don't end up with anything you hope to achieve. You can only look at Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger forsook the FA Cup and League Cup many occasions over the years because he wanted to secure the league and he wanted to ensure Champions League participation. But I think Champions League participation wasn't the key goal; it was to win the Champions League. He was desperate to win the Champions League. So I rephrase that. He wanted to win the league and he wanted to win the Champions League. And as you know, during those periods between 2005 up until like 2014, he didn't achieve either. He didn't even achieve a trophy. So that's one of the things where when you put your eggs in one basket, it does tend to, not work And I think that if you look at the example of, our rivals, Man United, have had a good history of winning this tournament. Most recent history up where they won it even under Sir Alex. One of the last trophies they won was this competition. Pep Guardiola won this tournament. He won this tournament consistently from about 2016 up until about 2021. Pep Guardiola won the trophy 5 times. The only time he didn't win it is when he lost to Man United early on in the 2017 competition. But he's won it consecutively. So, and if you look at Mourinho, his early trophies was the Carabao Cup for Walsh, and obviously his first trophy was with Man United. So the common denominator with all those squads I'm talking about, that one, they had bigger squads than us. So I do understand where you're coming from. But moving forward, I think that if you win a trophy, it basically enhances the players who haven't won anything, their minds into thinking, right, this is what you've got to do, and you've got to be ruthless and take every trophy and offer. But I get you come from, because one, this is a great opportunity for us to win the league, although we've had opportunities like this before where we've floundered in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
I think, I can't speak for you, but I think a majority of fans, if we had a massive squad of quality, because they can have big squads, but they can't be full of quality. We had a quality squad, 2 players for every position of equal quality, i.e. the player who's not playing is unlucky to not get a game. Then I think maybe people will change their minds and will say, well, let's go for trophies at all fronts, like Liverpool did last year, and our rivals have done before. So maybe that's what it is for me. We haven't won anything for 3 years, and it's not a given that we're going to win a league. It's not a given we're going to win the Europa League. So first trophy and offer, nice day out for the fans all day long. Let's have a go at it.
Fair play. It's a fair comment, mate. Fair, Kate. I respect your view. Just go to Ian. Ian, mate, it's Arsenal. Arsenal's streaming it on the Arsenal website. They're not releasing it to anybody else. So therefore, they did this last year. If I can't remember which game it was, but they did exactly the same thing. So that's why you can't see it anywhere, mate. But Del Boy, what's your view? What on what I said? Do you think we should go for it, or do you think we've got bigger fish to fry?
Yeah, well, look, we're one sort of game away from sort of evaluating the season so far, because we're coming into the sort of the World Cup break and stuff like that. And, sitting on top of the league is always important. Let's say coming into the Christmas time, it sort of puts out a statement there. So if we're top of the league at Christmas time, why not, let's say, right, Man City, for example, Liverpool have done it for years, trying to win 4 trophies, trying to win everything they can. They couldn't do it with the squad that they had. How the hell are we going to do it with a paper thin squad that we have? I think maybe put in the likes of Zinchenko, Tierney or something like that. Play Tierney at left back tonight. Put Zinchenko in midfield. He's played there for the Ukraine. Just check him out, see what he's like. You know what I mean? He needs match fitness. Play him. That's grand. But then put on the kids, put on Eddie, the fringe players, Rob Holding, the stuff like that. Get them out, get them game time and stuff like that. I don't want to see too many first team players in the not necessarily in the squad, but in the starting 11 definitely. Because if we get an injury to them, we're still not over the line with the Wolves game. And the Wolves game, it's always, us live on television, Saturday evening. As an Arsenal fan, I'm sure we all know that we get a bit nervous with that, and usually there's a banana skin or something like that. So I just hope that Arteta doesn't have the ego to think that he can go and try to win all 4 competitions that we're in. You know what I mean? Man City, Liverpool have tried the last few years, as I said, with the squad that they've had. It didn't work out for them. How the hell is it going to work out for us? I'd love to see the 15-year-old. Where's he gone? He's gone missing. He's I don't know where the fuck he's gone. He must be back in school doing his GCSEs or something. But we haven't seen him since. I'm sure there's another few players that we read about as well that they've been doing brilliant in training. Your man Marquinhos, I want to see him playing. You know what I mean? Let him out there and let him have a go. But I don't want to see too many players. Like the likes of Xhaka doesn't need to be playing today. Partey doesn't need to be playing. Jesus, Saka, Martinelli. These boys need to be wrapped up, because if we're top of the table, Christmas time, and we add a few players in the January transfer window, I'm expecting us then to push on and go for the league. I'm not saying we'll win it, but if we do that, Arsenal are showing the intent that they have. So I'm looking forward to tonight. Well, I was looking forward to, obviously we can't see the game, but seeing the highlights or whatever we're going to see, to see the younger players that will be out there, and see how they get on.
Fair comment, man. Fair comment. And Ryan, I mean, I agree with your statement. They are all important, Jez. I want to win at least one of the cups. I totally agree with you. I respect your view on that. But at this point in time with our squad, entering the World Cup, players are going to go away for their countries. I think we've got bigger things to do. But I respect your view. Prince Fuad, what's your stance on this one?
The Carling Cup, I have to, like what Kenny said earlier on, I agree with him when he said about you can't put your eggs in one nest. You've got to go for this cup. But the reason why I think we should go for this cup is because when you look at Guardiola's philosophy and Mourinho's philosophy and Man's philosophy, they say the reason why it's important to win this Carling Cup, whatever cup they call Carling, this cup, is because when the players go out and win it, it brings that winning mentality. So when they got that winning mentality, if they taste that success and they've been to Wembley, they've lifted that cup, and then in the title race, it'll edge them more for them to win more. So that's why that cup, it's not important to fans, but it's important to managers. And that's why Guardiola's won it 5 years in a row. And that's why Man City keep dominating. Because Guardiola says, if you're going to win, my philosophy, I want to win it all. And if you win one, you win the rest of them. So I think we ain't got the squad to do it. But if Arsenal are going to go for the Carling Cup, it depends on what they do in January. But if they win that cup and they're still top of the league, it's going to boost our young squad. They're going to want more. They're going to be hungry for it. So I don't mind winning going for the cup. But it's just the squad. It's not strong. It's thin. Like you got the Europa League, the FA Cup coming up. You got to. So I wouldn't mind winning it if they spend money in January.
Floyd, what trophy would you sacrifice then? Because like the Carling Cup or the FA Cup, I know what I'd rather be winning. You know what I mean? And as it says, we're not going to win 4 trophies. I'd love to win the Europa League and the league. They're my top league, obviously number one.
Yeah, I'll have the Europa League and the league. But if you're going to go for the league title, realistically, I'll go for this cup. Because it's the first trophy. You can win it in February, then you've got another 3 months to fight for the league. The league's a marathon. It's not a race. See, with this cup, it's like when we come into the third round, you win your first 2 games. It's like tonight. Either Chelsea's going out or Man City. One of the teams is definitely going out tonight, and Man United and Villa. One of the teams are going out. So, and a lot of Premier League teams got knocked out yesterday. But if we're going to go for the league, then go for this cup.
I want to get Carl's view on this. Carl, you sat there very patiently, my friend. What's your view on this?
Jays, I'd play a strong team and I go all out to win this cup. I agree with Fuad. This is a cup that we can win in February. 3.5 months' time, we could be the League Cup champions. And I think that if we are still in for the Premier League, fighting it out with Man City, this will give us the confidence and the belief to push us even more forward to try to win that Premier League. So I play a strong team tonight. I'll go all out first. I'm not a great believer, anyway, Jace, to be honest, I'm not a great believer in resting players and wrapping them up and putting cotton wool on them. These guys are all multi-millionaires. Does anyone put cotton wool on me when I have to go out and work 6 days a week? Does anybody have to put cotton wool on any of you that have to go out and work 6 days a week? No, we don't. And what are we getting for us? A few €100 every week to keep us going. So fuck them. They're professional footballers. They're multi-millionaires. And I pay the whole lot of them to win the cup. End of story. They're professional footballers. We're Arsenal Football Club. Go all out and try to win as much as we can. That's it, Jace. That's me down to a team, man. I fight. I go out there against Brighton tonight with a full team, beat Brighton, keep on going. Now,
like it, man. I like your positivity.
As I say, in 3.5 months' time, we could be champions of that cup, and I think that could push us on then for the league title. That's what I have to say about this.
Fair play. I respect that. Just very quickly, Oregon Gooner, DVS, absolute legend, top man. DVS, contact me. Yeah, I think you were going to contact me the other day about coming on the show very soon, my friend. There's a glass of vino on the DVS tonight, mate. Big up panel, legends on here tonight. Thank you for your very kind donation, my friend. Means a lot. And while we're on that, we've got people watching. I need 21 likes. So smash those likes up, people. Come on. And Ryan says, big up the esteemed panel. Yeah, we've got the legends here tonight. Real ones, talk facts. So, okay. Various opinions on the Carrier Bag Cup, as I call it. It's one of them. I get what you're saying, Carl. I get what you're saying. It's the earliest cup in the season you can win, and fair play on that one. Can't disrespect that comment. But who do you think? Do you? I'll come to you on this one. I'll come to you on Kyle. Do you think Arsenal will go with a strong team tonight, medium, few second string players, maybe a couple of first teamers, or do you think he's going to go out and just say, let's give the kids a run out? What's your view, man?
For tonight, Jace?
Yeah, tonight's game. Do you think he's going to go out strong?
Yeah, I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play a weakened team. You'll see a couple of first teamers in there, but I think he's going to play a weak team. He played the likes of Eddie and Ketia, Tierney, El Neni. I think El Neni will be in there. So I think it's going to be a weak enough team. But I still think it's a team that's good enough to beat Brighton, Jace, no matter who we play.
Okay. I mean, I think Brighton, personally, will come out with a full strength. I think they'll come out with a full strength team. We know that Brighton can be a problem to Arsenal. So, Prince Fuad, what's your view on it? What do you think we're going to go strong, medium, or just put the kids in?
I agree with Kyle, Brad. Just put a team out there, man. They get enough money. You know, all this fitting around and injuries and all that. They get enough money. It's all in their head. You know, play. I think today, I think he'll go with El Nani in the middle, Kieran Cheney. I think Eddie Nketiah start. Maybe Gabriel Jesus will start with him because he needs just to get a confident boost. But I don't know. We can play the 15-year-old. You know, he's got a night off school tomorrow, so let's play that 15-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, this is the funny thing, isn't it? I mean, what was that all about? That was a piss take. Del Boy, what's your view? What do you think we're going to do? Do you think it's going to be an all-out attack? Go for it, kill Brighton. We know we don't. You know, we haven't done well against Brighton. So, is it going to be? What's your view?
First of all, I just want to say the two boys there must be drinking too much of your homemade red wine, because I'll tell you, I don't know what the fuck they're bleeding on about. I'll tell you now, lads, if we go full length out with Brighton tonight, right, and we get an injury to fucking, let's say, Aaron Ramsdale or whatever, and let's say you want Pat Turner in for the rest of, let's say, 3 months, are you fucking mad? It doesn't matter. If, I want Arsenal to win everything. Let's talk fucking facts. Jesus Christ, lads. I'll tell you now, I don't mind, look, having Matt Turner fucking in goal. Like, you know, put on Tierney because he hasn't been getting that many games. And as I said, Zinchenko, fuck him into the middle of the field, in where, on the sort of left sort of the side of midfield. And put El Neni in there or whatever. You know what I mean? I think he'll play as sort of the second string, let's say, team with a few younger players in there. Because he can't be, like this game against Wolves, it's all great giving the Rocky speech in the dressing room and the fucking getting the fucking Liverpool national anthem out and doing it on the training ground. But come on, lads, let's talk fucking facts here. You know what I mean? It's Brighton, as you says, Jez, 100%. Brighton, this is a perfect competition for them to win. You know what I mean? Let's say they beat Arsenal tonight. You know, oh, we beat Arsenal in the cup and stuff like that. They get a bit of momentum. But it's a great sort of a foundation for them to go on and try and win the league. It's like Newcastle haven't won a trophy in fucking years. Never mind Spurs, like, you know what I mean? In a trophy like this for them, let them at it. Let them fucking at it. There's no point in us going for this. I want the league as number one. The number one thing I want. And that's what we do. We don't need a stupid fucking injury to Saliba tonight or something like that. You know what I mean? Just because Kyle Walsh and Prince Fuad are on the fucking diluted red wine juice that they're taking there.
Yo, listen. Double. Before I leave this, listen. You got to see with Iron Kyle's a man of steel. Not like you make these footballers. If all the footballers is you, they want to be fairy tales. Oh, injured. I want to play. I'm up this week. Tell them, get them out there. They earn too much money to be injured. Get out there and do your job. Kyle,
there's more
back, bro.
There's more bleeding strength in a fucking McDonald's cardboard straw than there is in the two of you put together. Never mind fucking oil, the tiles are steel and all that shit.
Kenny's view on this. Kenny, what do you think? What do you think Mikel Arteta will do tonight? Do you think he'll go full strength? Do you think he'll go average, or do you think he'll just put the kids out?
I think it's half and half because of the fact that he wants his players to have games and he wants to try things in terms of, experiment with, playing the left back in the midfield. I think Shevchenko 100% play to get some match fitness. I don't know what's happened with Matt Turner. Is he injured or something? Because he hasn't been playing the last few Europa League games, so it's highlighted that Ramsdale will play. Convinced of that. In terms of the right back situation as well, Benjamin White won't play, even though he probably want to play because he's against his old club. So you have to assume Shedrick will play. Eddie is definitely going to play. But again, is he hopefully, we won't see any of Jesus, and we'll see, Reece Nelson and Marquinhos. Albert's will play. No doubt about it. Albert's definitely going to play. And I think, Fabio Vieira is definitely going to play as well. Rob Holding's going to get a game as well. So it's going to be a mix and match. I like to think that Kieran Tierney won't start, but judging by the fact that he seemingly is not Arteta's first choice, I expect him to start. So it's still going to be a strongish side and side of experience. I think Brighton will be fools not to go strong because there's got opportunity for them to win a trophy, and we probably wouldn't play in our first team, so they'll be absolutely idiots. I don't understand why smaller clubs don't play their best teams. I don't get what it is. I mean, only 3 of you can get relegated, so I don't understand why teams that finish that normally finish in the top 10, i.e. Everton, play 11 different players and then get surprised, or their fans get surprised and they get pumped 4-1 by against Bournemouth. I think that you've got a trophy's a trophy, and I think you've got to take an opportunity. I think that the side that Arteta can put out should be strong enough to beat Brighton, in terms of experience, because you're still going to play a few internationals, but it'll be mix and match. But I wouldn't be surprised if, with Matt Turner's alleged injury, that Ramsdale's in goal today.
I think he'll be in goal today, personally. Anyway, I think we've kicked that one to death. Up and coming, we have Wolves away, 7:30 Saturday evening. This, to me, is a must-win. And I think if Arsenal score early, Wolves, to me, look very poor this season. They'll capitulate, and it could be 3-4-0. I'm personally going to give you my prediction is 3-0 Arsenal. And we start with you, Prince Fuad. What's your view? Wolves away. And what's your prediction?
I agree with you. 3-0 Arsenal. The reason why I know Arsenal are definitely going to win that game is because Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus have got called up for Brazil. So they're fired. They're ready to like they're fired up. So they're on our Red Bull boost, you know. Do you know when it gives you wings? And their wings that have been in our game, they're just gonna turn up, score big goals. Because when you get into that squad, it's just they're gonna be like so overconfident, they're so confident. And I think with them being there, Gabriel, and it's the last game of the Premier League, obviously for the winter break of the World Cup, Arsenal will be fired up. So yeah, I'm going with you. 3-0 Arsenal win. I would have said 27-0, but I'll go for 3-0. 3-0 Arsenal.
Del Boy, what's your view? Wolves away. What's your view? What's your prediction, man?
I don't think it's going to be 3-0, and the whole fact of that is because they've a new manager now. I know nothing about him. Apparently, these fucking Twitter accounts and everything like that know everything about football and all that. They're saying he's a pretty good manager. That's fair enough. He's sort of only in the door, but the only thing I don't like about that is, will they get the new manager bounce? You know what I mean? I agree with you, Jez. Wolves haven't been great this season. They have been poor, but I'm just worried if they do get the new manager bounce. It's a Saturday night away from home. You know, we're live on telly. You know, it's just we've been here before and we've played worse teams and lost. You know, I'm not going to be negative. I think we'll get a win, but it'll be close. I'll go 2-1 to the Gooners. And if we do, it'll be a huge result. I don't care. I'll take 1-0 all day long. It doesn't bother me. But it'll be huge for us to go in at Christmas time on top of the table. You know what I mean? And boy, there'll be a few people in Dublin that'll be getting absolute fucking dog's abuse from Del Boy, and that's 100% fact as well.
Fair play, man. Fair play. Kyle, what's your view, my friend? Wolves 7:30 away. Prediction, and how do you see it?
Jays, if we don't beat Wolves Saturday evening, we don't deserve to be in any league grown-up challenge with Man City. We have to go to Wolves and we have to beat Wolves. Wolves are a poor outfit. I'm predicting 2-0 to Arsenal. If we don't win that game, as far as I'm concerned, forget about it. Not good enough. So I don't want any bullshit Saturday evening. Go out, get your 2-0, 3-0 win, go into the World Cup on top of the table, and I'd be very happy, man. No excuses, Jace. No excuses. 3 points Saturday, ain't the story.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Kenny, get your view on that game. To me, it's a very important game. We need to be winning that game to go into the World Cup, to make a statement, top of the league. Are you going to the game, Kenny?
No, it's always it's on too late because the game's at 7:45.
Yeah,
and
give us your view, mate. Give us your view. How do you see it? What's your prediction? How do you see it going?
I expect us to win comfortably because simple reasons. Wolves have got no confidence. You know, their team's actually been decimated to a certain extent because Bruno Lage decided to dispense with Connor Cody, which is just something's gone on in the dressing room for that to have happened because Connor Cody's a leader of all men, and they haven't got Jimenez who's injured. Clearly, he's not the same player that he was before he had that unfortunate collision with David Luiz, and plus he got an injury. And that's lack of goals. Diego Costa's there to fill in the hole, but Diego Costa's just not the player he was 8 years ago when he first came to this country. So, they still got players like Neves, they still got Martinez, they still got Podence, but they haven't got a team. So it's going to be about how many goals we'll win, and that's not being arrogant. We have a team. We're playing well. We're getting bodies forward. It could be very embarrassing for Wolves, and we're ruthless as well. We could, I wouldn't be surprised it's 4-1. 4-1. We seeing how stingy we are at the back. It probably will be a 4-0 because we don't concede as well. It's not going to be heart wrenching. It's only going to be heart wrenching and probably as stressful as we make it, or if we don't take our chances. But they really, really are a decimated team of the most important thing. One, quality and confidence. You're going to, on paper, you're going to look at that Wolves side and going to think, yeah, they've done, that team's still a good team. But when you look at how they play, how they defend. You know, it's not the same mentality they had under Espirito Santo. You know, they clearly miss him big time. Big time. He was the only one who got them ticking for me. You know, Large did his best, and I'm sure Lopetegui is going to be a good enough addition. Personally, they should have got Lopetegui in immediately, but maybe Lopetegui's clever and he thinks, all right, I'll go after the World Cup after we get us hammering from Arsenal.
Interesting. That's an interesting point. The thing is, Carl's made a point here. There's pressure on this game to remain top going into St. Stephen's Boxing Day. Let's hope they don't crumble under it. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Anybody got a view on that? Make a comment.
Can I just say there, I just wanted to sort of see what you guys think of Diego Costa if he's playing. You know what I mean? That's why I said 2-1. You know, he does like to sort of ruffle our feathers, I suppose. You know. Would you guys feel
about having these back pocket then, why?
This is a new pedigree, man.
I think Saliba would have in his back pocket then, why?
Gabriel Saliba, this is a new pedigree defense, man. He ain't doing that. He might as well stay retired.
But see, the thing about it is, even with the Chelsea game, I wasn't as confident as you guys. Like, you know what I mean? I'd love to be, you know what I mean? But I know
Del Boy. I know you are confident. I was speaking to you online.
I'm probably, I don't know. Maybe one day it'll click with me that, yeah, look, come here, let's just go for it and be confident and stuff like that. But at the minute, I'm just sort of, fucking Philip Schofield settings. I'm in the closet. I might just jump out all of a sudden and surprise everyone and just go, yeah, come on, we're banging.
Make me choke there. I think, you know, it's Saturday evening. It's a very important game. We've got to go into that. We've got to win. I think we will win. I think we'll be comfortable. You know, the way I see Wolves this season, they are poor. And I can honestly see it being only one-way traffic for Arsenal. As Kenny said, our defence at the moment is very, very tight. We don't give a lot away at the moment, which is great. Very reminiscent of the iconic George Graham days. And we are being, let's be honest, some of the wins we're getting are very much George Graham era, 1-0 to the Arsenal. So, you know, we can't always win pretty, can we? You know, we won games recently. It hasn't been tippy-tappy, perfect football, but you have to say at times, some of the football we have been playing lately has been absolutely a joy on the eyes. It's slick. All right, we haven't had the clinical finish. And that brings me on to a point, guys. We're going to talk about what do you see we need to do up front in the January transfer window. I'm going to put this out there, upset a few people. I'm sorry, Eddie Nketiah is just not the man to lead Arsenal forward. Jesus is a great player. He is such an annoying player to defences. He causes drama. You can see players panic against him, but he's not a 20-goal a season man. We knew that when we bought him. So, I'll go round this one, and I'll start off with Kenny on this. Do you think we need to get another top-class striker in? And do you think it would be somebody from overseas, or would you rather have a proven Premier League striker? What's your view, my friend?
Oh, yeah, we definitely have to get someone in, because I think when it comes to business end of the season, if we are where we are, one of the things that is going to probably highlight the difference between us and City is that they got Haaland. And we've got, and that's the thing. Yeah, I know a lot of people talk about Man City scoring 96 goals last season, and that's fantastic. They got goals from all over the shop. But what they've done right now is that not only are they getting goals from all over the shop, still they've got a striker who will put the ball in the net, and he's guaranteed goals. I mean, look how many goals he scored already. Now, the business end of the season, you are going to play teams that are going to fight for their lives, and it's not necessarily going to be teams that are fighting for Europe, fighting for, Europe, two fronts, top four, Europa League, or even the Conference League now that people take seriously. It's going to be teams as well fighting the standard division, and even teams that haven't got anything to play for. Let's not forget what Crystal Palace did to us. They had nothing to play for last season. They gave us an hiding. Brighton beat us as well. They had certainly enough to play for, and let's not forget Southampton. So teams like that do not want to be a victim against a team challenged for the title. They're going to give their all. They're not going to be in the holidays. It's a myth. Some teams will be in the holidays, but most of the times, if they're playing a big team and it's on TV, they're going to give their all. So in games like that, when teams play men behind the ball, Jesus' lack of goals will be a factor, unfortunately. And Eddie, we don't think he's good enough. We don't. So we are going to want to get someone like an Ivan Toney, a player we're looking at before. Obviously, if you go overseas, then Vlahovic is another player that even Man United are now talking about. So it's goal. Our goal output at the moment is fantastic. It's excellent. But, can you rely on Jesus to score 20 goals a season? Do you need? No. But can you rely on Eddie to cover the bench if you go by current performances? Not at all. So you have to buy because, trust me, there's going to be games, even at the Emirates, where it's going to be games that we should be winning. We're going to be drawing either 0-0 or 1-0, and we're probably a goal down, and we're able to fight back. Look what happened in the 07-08 season in games against Middlesbrough, games against Aston Villa, games where we went behind and we had to score very, very late equalisers. So those are examples of when Arsenal seemingly challenged for the title, where the goals dried up. Adebayor's goals dried up. Remember, was it 14 years ago? So you always need someone else to come to the party. I know people will say, we lost Eduardo for that wretched tackle from Martin Taylor. But again, when Adebayor couldn't score, who else is going to get the back of that? So we need to be shoring up that position in terms of getting some goals, because we can't always rely on players who are not natural goal scorers to get the odd goal here and there. We need a proven striker.
Totally right. I totally agree, Kelly. Dale boy, how do you see it? How do you see this coming out? Do you think we're going to do the business? We need to, in my opinion. Personally, I think I personally would like to see a Premier League proven player. I don't want to see a European player come in at that time of the season who has never been in the Premier League. It takes too long for them to settle to the game. We need to hit the game running. What's your view, my friend?
Yeah, I totally agree with both of you there. I keep saying this about Fergie done it a few years ago with Henrik Larsson, and I know he wasn't in the English Premier League, but he was in the Champions League with Celtic. He was in Europe, being competitions, playing in the British game. He was used to going to cold places in the pissings of rain and absolutely scoring goals. He joined Man United in January, and I think he got 10 plus goals, 10, 15 goals for Man United, and they went on and won the league. That's exactly what we need now. We will not win the league, let's say, if Jesus gets injured and we're left with Eddie leading the line, because he has not scored that many goals. And I'm not going to, I don't have a fucking stat here beside me or anything like that to see how many goals he has scored in this year alone. But I can tell you, I could probably count it on one hand. But yeah, like Mr. B had there, and the name that we all keep bringing up is Ivan Toney. He would, I think, would definitely get us near 10 goals anyway. Being fed by Saka and Martinelli and stuff like that, he'd be a great finisher. Also, look, no one has mentioned Calvert-Lewin anyway. He's only back recently from injury as well. He'd probably be my second choice. I'd rather him than what you says there, Jez, than Vlahovic or something like that, who has to come to England, settle down, find a place to live, all this shit. You know what I mean? It's harder for them to do that. We need a striker ready now, not fucking bedding in time and give him a game here, there, and You know, we need a striker that's going to try and hit the ground running as best as can, like, you know. But when Jesus isn't firing, we definitely need someone else. And unfortunately, Eddie's not the answer. Will we get someone else? Like, you know, we need a midfield. I think personally, I don't think he's going to sign a striker. I really don't. I think it's probably a midfielder he'll go for. Probably Tillemans or something like that. Or who else have we been linked with? You know, I can't see anyone else. Unfortunately, I just think we'll only get one player, because last year we got none. You know, this year, you know, and this is nothing on Arteta, by the way. It's Edu and Garlic. You know what I mean? I just think the two of them, if they, like, you know, if they like, you know, were let's say negotiating deals for us, they're just not good enough at it, I don't think. And I've said it before. Everyone say, "Oh, Jesus, Shevchenko, easiest deals to do in the world." Arteta picks the phone up. He knows everyone in Man City. This is who you ring. This is who you talk to. Here's his agent. He loves this. This is what you do. They were easy. Everyone else is being Brazilian or Portuguese. You know, Edu can talk to them. You know what I mean? It's not a wheeler dealer situation. You know, that's what I worry about. You know, but I suppose, look, we have to take the season in half. Let's win against Wolves and come in and see where we are at the end of it. And it's after the World Cup as well. How Arteta sort of keeps them entertained during that. That's very important as well. Keep morale up, keep them, like, you know, motivated and stuff like that. And certainly bringing in a top quality striker would certainly motivate the team to say, right, lads, we're on top of the league. It's Christmas time. We're in the first week in January. We're after getting, I don't know, Tony in. Let's do this, you know.
Great point. Great facts. Prince Fuad, how do you see it? I mean, I you know, you've heard Del Boy just there, and Kenny and me. How do you see it, my friend?
I think they're going to bring in just another defensive midfielder. And I don't know why. It's like they just don't go get Ivan Toney now. Reason being is because Ivan Toney, you know, he's an Arsenal fan. And it's not, and the transfer is not going to be that more expensive. And the other thing is, he'll be in the training ground the next hour because he lives in London. So it's not like, I agree with you and that. When you bring in someone from, say you bring in someone from Europe, you got to bring him in. Then he's got to, you know, and he's got family, and they got to worry how to settle. The kid's got to get put into school, their wife's got to settle, and he's going on to a headache. Well, as Ivan told you, just coming across the road.
Yeah.
And he's coming focusing, and he's an Arsenal fan, because I know people who've met him. Like, my friend was on holiday with him. Like, my friend met him last, like, on a photograph of him. I met him on holiday this summer, and he put in my group of that. And he's an Arsenal. He said he'd go to Arsenal like that. We're happy. My friend asked him, "Would you sign for Arsenal?" He said, "Yeah." He's a massive Arsenal fan. So I don't know why we don't get him. And we're not going to pay 60, 70 million. We're talking 30 million.
Yeah.
We're not talking that much, honestly. I agree with Del Boy. Go and get him, because and another thing is, he gives us another option up front. Jamie, it's that like we got Tini who crossing the ball, wicked. You got Saka who crossing the ball. You got all that. You got Fabio Vieira who crossing the ball. You got Ben White who crossing the ball. You got everyone. And the thing is, no one's tall enough to put the ball in the net. But him, he's just gone. So bring Ivan Toney in. And if he brings in Ivan Toney in any midfielder, defensively, I'll be happy. We're only bringing two players.
Okay. I do hear what you're saying. Kyle, what's your view, my friend? Do you want a proven Premier League striker, or would you see us buying, if at all we buy a striker? There's an interesting comment that Prince Fuad said. Where do you see it going?
The hardest thing in football is to score a goal, and we're not going to score goals with Jesus and Eddie Nketiah leading the front line for Arsenal Football Club. Jesus is a brilliant footballer, and he causes a lot of problems and a lot of headaches for defenders. but don't ask him to score you 20, 25 goals a season to win you the league title. We won't even discuss about Eddie Nketiah because he's not even a footballer. He's an absolute disgrace. And how anybody give him 100,000 a week to play football is just beyond me. James, I don't see Arsenal buying any striker. I think they're happy enough with what they have. They gave Eddie Nketiah that contract, and that, for me, told me everything I needed to know. So we can talk here about players, Tony and Mitrovic and all these different type of players. We're getting nobody. We're not going to get another striker. The other thing is, if you do go and get a striker, who are we going to get? That's going to push us on to win the Premier League. The same way as Man City has Haaland. That's the quality of player that we're talking about. And Ivan Toney is not Haaland. So that's where I am at the moment. I don't see us getting a striker. And I think that we're going to falter this season because of that situation. Because we all know we're not stupid. The two boys are not going to score us enough goals. Simple facts. So in January, don't get me wrong, I want us to go and buy a top-class striker. But I just don't think we're going to do this.
I tend to agree with you. The only thing I will say is Edu made a critical statement. It's all about trophies now. So if he doesn't go out and do the business to win trophies, then that means he's got to go.
100%.
And I was having a chat with somebody earlier from a previous stream. Somebody put a comment in. Am I flipping towards Arteta? And I said, well, no. If come April next season, we're in a title race, like within 2 or 3 points, maybe not top, but we're 2 or 3 points, and we end up, let's say, second, I'll say fair play, the guy's proved me wrong. But he has to make a statement now, Mr. Mikel Arteta, in the fact he's got to say to this management, this is what I need. I need another striker, attacking midfielder, central midfielder, maybe, whatever he decides. Personally, that's what I think. If he doesn't do that, then he's failed. Del Boy, I'll start with you on that statement. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he, let's say Arteta should be into Edu's office and saying, I'll fuck you through the window if you don't get me a striker. Because you're putting my managerial career on the fucking line. And it's none of this fucking high five and then giving each other rubs on the head, patting on the back and all this shit. Because, as you rightly said, if Arteta does come in and I've said it, we've all said it, challenge for the league. And this would be a surprise. But now it's about, get me the fucking players I need, because we are very fucking close to winning a league here. And it's as simple as that. And like you did say, and Edu said that, so he is now, Arteta has now put the ball in his court and just goes, look, win against Wolves, Edu, you have now a month, whatever it is, to get us players in. Because they should be talking to players back in fucking September, October. They should be saying, right, who is our target if we're in this position? If we're in that position? Because we have statics about fucking everything fucking else in the bleeding place. You know what I mean? Who's going to be the tea lady today? Who's going to be mopping them? They have everything, all these stats. They should know who. If we are challenging for the league, come, let's say, January, 1st of January, who do we go for? Who are we short for? No excuses. There's none whatsoever. And the Kroenkes, he was over. Josh was over. If I'm Edu, I'm in his ear. We're very close. Look at the team out there today. We're a few players short. We need X, Y, and Z. Here's Arteta's targets. We think if we win the league or we challenge. There's no excuses now. And I'm sick of the, let's say, I know no disrespect to anyone like who is backing Arteta, but it's the Arsenal managing system. There's no excuses. I don't want to hear this fucking, we fizzled off in fucking March or April. Why did we? because we didn't sign a player in January. And look, if it comes down to a minimum of 2 players, a midfielder, like Prince Fuad said, midfielder and a striker, if we get them 2, at least they tried. And that's fair enough. And I can't ask for more than that. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about next year then, build the shit out of this come the summertime. And you go out and you don't be pissing around with Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool are after him. Oh, well, we don't need to go after him. Fuck Liverpool. I don't give a bollocks about them. We're a bigger club then. Let's start acting it. You know what I mean? There's no excuse for this shit. And I hate Arsenal being, oh, we're linked to this fella, but Man United or whoever is going after him as well. Oh, and guess what? Man United get him or Spurs get him. Why not start acting like a big club? You know what I mean? None of this fucking shit of penny pinching and, you know, the whole with Suarez when we were after him and offering the £1 extra. You know what I mean? Just throw the money at them. They have it. You know, and I'm just getting a bit sick with the backroom staff. I'll give Arteta a breather now this season because he's doing okay. Like, you know, but like you, Jez, you know, I'll wait till the end of May and see where we're at then.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. Kenny, how do you see it? I mean, I know. I think I know what you're going to say, but how do you see it, my friend?
Well, the thing they do is I think what he was saying in Cody's terms is that he's now got a complete squad and a complete team that he needs, and that, you know, he's given Arteta everything he wants. You know, he's basically saying we've got a team that finally can challenge for trophies, and I'm assuming he means at all fronts. But his work isn't finished. He still needs to look at the situation and try and bridge that gap between quality. Arsenal, regardless of whether Arsenal challenge for trophies or not, Arsenal should be on the lookout for every quality player. It doesn't matter if that quality player scoring 30 or 40 goals a season. If there's a player in Europe or around the world who's the best in their position, Arsenal should be in for him all the time. Because, as you well know, you only have to look at Barcelona. You only have to look at Liverpool. That if sometimes if the team's stale, then what happens is that further down the line, teams work them out, and that team gets old together, and there's not, you know, they do go on a downward spiral. That's why you always have to, you know, buy when you're strong. That's what I've always said. It's not just in football, in other sports. Remember the West Indies at cricket? They're the best team in the world. But when they didn't, like I said, get young players when they were strong, they played the same players, they eventually all got old together, and they've never been the same since in terms of their domination of cricket. And I think that's the same with Arsenal. Buy it when you're strong. Alan Hansen always used to say it on BBC One and Match of the Day, buy when you're strong. Sometimes we used to always, you know, talk, you know, make comments about City and Chelsea and say, oh, they want to buy people for the sake of it. Actually, buying players for the sake of it is a myth. It's called buying players when you're strong. We're strong, but we're not totally strong because everyone knows our squad's thin. So Edu's still got a lot of work to do. He can't pat himself on the back. And even if we do win a trophy, keep going, keep getting stronger, because we've seen what happens when you rest in your laurels and when you when you don't buy when you're strong. Look what happens. All the teams that have lost their era of domination in world football, Juventus now, Barcelona, Liverpool, as we've seen before, Man United, common denominator, didn't buy when you're strong. And basically, the manager was on the wane, or the manager left, and you left a team that was on the wane that couldn't challenge because they were strong.
Kenny, we've been here, seen this before, haven't we? In the Wenger era, you know, top of the league come Christmas, go into the new year, capitulate. It's you know, this is where I have my doubts about this management, but. Carl Rossi, thanks, mate, for your donation. Very much enjoying the stream. Big up, you 5. Yeah, great panel tonight. Speak facts, no bullshit here. It is what it is. We say it. If you don't like it, people don't like it. Fair play. We've got people watching, but we've only got 48 likes. Let's get it over 50. And let's do a few of these comments here. Darren says more trophies means more money for their merch drops, mint coins, underground signs, watches at all at unaffordable prices. Yeah, I mean, yeah, That's the way it is, man, isn't it? Darren says Liverpool are spent force. Well, I think at the moment they're in trouble, personally. Anyway, guys, we're going to wind this up shortly. Prince Fuad, what was your view on what we need to do? I mean, you know,
I think it's the best time to take advantage of it, because like Delboy's right. It's like where we are now, players are out there looking at what we're doing. Arsenal top of the league. Players want to come to that. So now's the time advantage. It ain't the same Arsenal. Whoa, Arsenal beat Liverpool this season. Whoa, Arsenal beat Tottenham. Whoa, Arsenal beat Chelsea away. They're on a form and the top of the Premier League. So a lot of footballers now will think, I want a piece of that. So now it's advantage to take advantage of it, because when you're on form and you're at the top, get your players in right now. Because now there's no one player. There's 20 teams below us. We're looking down on everyone. We go to Brentford. We're Arsenal FC. Ivan, what are you saying? Bring a Jamaican English ass for Arsenal. He's coming. Tell me, people saying, "Oh, he ain't good enough for Arsenal." But you know what? It's not about being good enough. He'll give us a plan B. Jamie, like, think of it like this: if Ivan Toney comes in and Gabriel Jesus in the second half of the season scores 10 goals, and Ivan Toney contributes 10 goals, that's 20 goals there in the next 15 games, and that's title winning. That's title winning form. But if we just sit back and we just don't do nothing, you already know what's going to happen. And then,
Kyle,
me, how ambitious I am. I'm ambitious, and if they don't bring in no one, I'll be the first one to say it. Like, it's just going to be a letdown. Because you know already when the games are coming, and especially now in January, the games are coming thick and fast. Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Premier League. Then you go into February, FA Cup, Europa League, Premier League. It ain't no normal season. Remember, we've only played 13 games in the title in the league. I mean, 13 games, and the rest are coming thick and fast straight after Boxing Day. So it's down to the board to go out. So it's down to like Josh Kroenke calling me in. Arteta says, I want this, I want that, and push for it, get in players, and then I think all Arsenal fans will feel more comfortable with these two players coming in, and you think, all right, it's on. Because when you're seeing Haaland doing what he's doing, it gives us a reality check. It does. It doesn't matter if Arsenal are top. It does give you it gives you a reality check. Because you know already, second half of the season, my man's not even going to the World Cup. He's sipping on champagne for the next month.
Totally agree.
So we got to play. We can't make the same mistakes. We've done it for years and years and years. You know, the season.
Kyle, before I ask you that same question, Darren's make a statement here. Mudryk in, Tillman's in, Maddison, it would not say no to Tony and Trossard. Well, we know we're not going to get all that lot, but out of that mix, who would you take? Kyle.
To be honest, Jays, I would take Trossard. I think Trossard is a brilliant player. And I've been looking at Trossard for the last about a year and a half. I've been saying to my brother, who's a Man United fan, I love to take Trossard to Arsenal. And he's really hitting the ground here now. I know he's a winger, and lads will say, well, sure, Martinelli is this, Martinelli is that. But I would take Trossard. I'll take Tony as well. And I see Static there asked the question. It's very hard to say who's Static, because for me, to push for the Premier League, we have to be talking about a Haaland type player. And I just don't see it in the Premier League. And if you're going to go out to European leagues, you're going to bring in players that's going to need time to settle and stuff like that. So I don't think, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we have to worry about strikers anyway, because I don't see us buying any. But probably Ivan Toney Static if I was to pick one out of the Premier League. But Jays, to answer your question, I would definitely go for Trossard. I think Trossard is a quality player. Top class. And Jays, just before I finish up there, I just want to say this. If Arteta don't get Arsenal into the top two in the Premier League, as far as I'm concerned, he can fuck off. That's as far as I'm concerned now, because I can't, like, the turnaround has been unbelievable. And we're so close. I just don't see you doing these Kroenke buying the players that we need to have to push on Man City. But I do want us to finish in the top 2, Jays. No excuses. I've said this from the beginning. I'm saying it still. So let's see what happens in January. Let's get through the World Cup and see who's available in January to start with.
Fair play. Yeah, I'll very quickly before we go. International football really isn't my game, but I'll ask you guys the roundup. How do you think, Kenny? How do you think England will do?
Not very well, because I think what's happening is that, you know, all the things I said about teams not changing their teams, you know, squads going old together. I think this squad here at the moment is going to be having squads. Players are going to be playing on reputation. Teams have worked them out from their successful years in Moscow, in Russia in 2018, the World Cup, and the Euros last year. If you look at the games in the League of Nations, I think that's a barometer of how teams are going to play. And the teams have worked them out before. Remember the corner routine that took everyone by surprise. Teams worked that one out, and teams are going to be working out that, you know, Sterling's actually the player that brings into the game. So I think what's going to happen is that without a midfielder, in my opinion, who hasn't got control of the midfield, or he doesn't keep possession, or hasn't got that trick, then I can't see England do anything. I can see England being very direct, and when they play a top side, it's goodbye. You know, I think England fans probably got to be happy with the quarterfinals. Really do.
Yeah. Personally, I will be supporting Wales, as I'm half Welsh. So that's my thing. And Prince Fuad, you'll be supporting Wales, obviously, down where you are. And question to you then, mate. How do you think Wales will do?
Better than England. I think we'll go better than England.
Same group, aren't we?
Yeah. I think I'm going to just tell all the English fans, just make sure you book your hotels for 3-4 days. You won't be all day long. They're coming home. They're coming home this week. They're coming home this World Cup. They're not prepared for it. He's gonna pick Sanya right back. The guy's got no seal ball whatsoever. I think England are gonna just come home early. They're not gonna. I think the team to watch out for is gonna be Brazil.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I haven't got any ambitions. Del Boy, how do you see it all going, my friend?
Well, I just want to say it's great to have Kyle back in the room. He must have sobered up there. He's spitting facts at the end. But no, look, come here. I think England, they've had the wrong manager for years with Southgate. I know we got them to the fucking finals of the Euros, but Jesus Christ, I think any of us in this room here would have got them to the bleeding semis anyway, at least. You know, he was given the job, he fell into it. Wrong manager, you know, there's better out there. I think Wenger would have been a great fucking shout for England. Like, you know, when he left Arsenal, or when that job was available, whenever it was. I do think Wales will go a long way. I'd like to see Wales doing well as well. Like, you know what I mean? I'm probably up for Brazil. Obviously, you know, I'm half Brazilian. I'm only messing. But no, just because of the Arsenal, like, you know, the boys at the club, like, you know, so I'd like to see them doing well. And, you know, I think Belgium might be an okay team as well. I hope they do okay as well. You know, there's a few good players there. You know, Hazard might bounce, De Bruyne might bounce, you know, and fucking Lukaku, he always plays well for Belgium as well. So, you know, if he finds his shooting boots, they'd be tough to beat as well, you know. But I like going for the minnows as well. Like Canada, I'll be looking out for them. I have family over there, so I hope that they do well. And Cameroon is my African team. I hope that they do really well. I love sort of watching them. I think Senegal, are supposedly the best African team in the competition. They're saying, I'm not sure. Maybe you guys might tell me, but yeah, I'll be keeping an eye out for them as well. I think I've named the whole fucking every team that's in the bleeding competition.
Yeah. You're hedging your bets, mate. You're hedging your bets. Kyle, how do you see it, mate? Anybody you're going to be, backing up?
Acting up here. Jays, I'm shouting for Brazil to win the World Cup. For the love of football, I want Brazil to win it. As far as England is concerned, they have the wrong man. They've had the wrong man for a long time. I think it's a disgrace that England can't compete, in my opinion, to win a World Cup. The players that they have. He's picking the wrong team. I see one of your viewers just typed in that Madison, is that being leaked that Madison won't be picked? I think that's a disgrace myself, personally. And as well as that, Jays, and this is not going to go down too well, but I'm going to say what I feel. God forbid if England do win the World Cup, because we'll be listening about it for the next 200 fucking years. Like the 1966 World Cup final. It's crazy. Every time the World Cup comes up, England with the World Cup from 1966. What about fucking Brazil, who won it 4 or 5 times? Jesus Christ.
True.
But that's the media. That's like we had that discussion before. It's the English media has England fucked before they even go into a tournament with all their bullshit. I always say, if the media just relaxed, let England get on with what they have to do, England will have a better chance to win in World Cups and European Cup staying. But there's too much pressure on them straight away. And then the media, if they do well, the media builds them up to be this and that. So that's where I'm coming from. Brazil to win the World Cup. And then why? It'll be a long time before our fucking nation is in the World Cup, let me tell you, my friend.
Yeah.
I think me and you would fucking play better than the bunch we have this fucking stage.
Absolutely.
I think so too, that boy.
Totally agree. I just answered Marcelo's question. What's your favourite red wine grape, Jez? Shiraz, Shiraz, and Grenache in combinations. That's my thing. Anyway, guys, going to wind it up. It's been great having you guys on once again. It's been a while. Kyle, you've been gone missing without permission. So what you got coming back up?
Absolutely. I'm like Chuck Norris, sort of missing in action, but I'm making a comeback.
Good.
So I'm hoping to have a video up on Friday, and then you'll start seeing me more regular. I went through a bit of a personal problem, but I'm getting on the right side of that now, so you're going to see me face a lot more. Jays, I want to say a big up to you, man, for supporting me and having me back there and letting me on your show. Thank you very much. And to all the panel, big up to you all. You're all legends. And all the viewers.
It's always a pleasure, mate. You're always welcome. You know that. Prince Fuad.
100%, Jace. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, mate. Don't worry about that. Prince Fuad, what have you got coming up, my friend?
I got some. I ain't got much coming up in the next few days, but I got some. Hopefully, I got a boxing show coming up at the end of the month. Hopefully, I can get one of the champions back on, one of the pros on it again. We had Joe Cuddy on my last show, and I'll have hopefully trying to get like one of the K brothers. So like hopefully I'll get some boxers also boxing show coming. I got Kenny too. He jumps on with me. We have some nice boxing chats. We talk about the boxing all the time. So yeah, hopefully at the end of this month I'll have some boxing content coming up. Hopefully.
Nice one, mate. Nice one. Del boy, are you doing I think I've missed a few. I don't know if you've been doing or what. You always used to do the great Friday night shows.
Yeah, funny enough you say that. I'm actually going to probably do one this Friday night now. So hopefully if you're all around, everyone's more than welcome to join in. I'm going to probably do something about, I want to do a sort of a show about the great Chippy Brady, Liam Brady, of a few slides and stuff like that. So I'll DM you there, about that if you are available. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that probably this Friday. I'm after freeing up my schedule and stuff like that. But I still drop out a few videos and stuff like that. So check my channel out. You'll see something. You'll see me moaning about fucking something. You know. But I do with fan cams. I do it after every Arsenal game, like, you know, that are like, you know, relevance. But like, let's say tonight, for example, no one would have seen the game, so I won't be really doing a fan cam tonight. But after, let's say, the Wolves game, I'll be doing a fan cam and stuff like that. So yeah, just check it out and keep an eye out on the L channel. Appreciate it, and thanks a million, Jez, for having me on. You're a bleeding legend.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. Kenny Ken, what you got coming up on Insta?
I don't know. I've got everything coming up, mate. I'm gonna, a good friend, Jack Ramsey, just sent me something, so I'm gonna trust me. I'm gonna be a nightmare tomorrow, because I think everyone who's an England fan is going to be a nightmare, because simple reason is that, you know, everyone's going to have their opinion on who should be selected for the squad going Qatar, and you know, I think there's going to be some very disappointed people, you know. And I think everyone's going to be like a critique of what Southgate's done. And let's just say, I think Southgate's, you know, in a whole heap of trouble if he doesn't deliver that trophy, because people are going to say you should have selected that player or that player, not a player. And yes, you know, Cole and you know, Del Boy are right. I think even England fans are fed up with 1966. I think we know it off by heart. We know when the extra time was. We know every minute of when the goals were scored as well, and who scored them. And we see videos of that every time. So I think the only way to stop England from you know, repeating those guys and getting some new heroes, but under Southgate, as Del Boy and as Cole says, not happening. The wrong man for the job.
I totally agree. Anyway, people, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Smash the likes up, subscribe, put your notifications on, and I'll do the outro, and then we are out of here. Take care, everyone. Good luck tonight to the Arsenal Victoria Concordia Crescent.
I'm relieved to hear that you've been to some far places. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I had seen such riches, I could live